Good morning, everyone. How you doing? I'm driving my way into work right now, and this morning I just want to talk about a problem that you face as a programmer, even with AI today. So, for example, something that I've been wrestling with is one: if you're working on, a web application or a website, you should have a production environment and a staging environment. You can have more than that. You can have quality assurance, you can have development, whatever, but at least have two. And the reason for that is because, if you have real people logging into, use your web application, you don't want it to break if you're trying to, implement a new feature or something like that. So it's called, the one that's public, you don't want other people it breaking while you're using it. So you create a staging environment where you can test things. Well, okay, so we have AWS environment. We use Amplify. I know there's different ways to do it. You can use an EC2, which is just a virtual machine, basically. But anyway, so to the point, I was wrestling all morning. Woke up at around 6 a.m. to try and get the staging development environment created for this web application, and it wasn't working. I did all. I created a development branch on GitHub. And then I added all the environment variables, which is something that it's funny. The environment variables are such a big thing because you got to make sure they stay safe, either in your local environment or they're on a secure server like AWS, something like that, Amplify. But anyways, so after I did all that, it was just failing for I had 10 deploys and they were all failing. And then I made some changes in GitHub, updated some things, still failing. And what you have to do always, go back to the logs. Where can you see the logs and everything? I just passed my girlfriend on the highway. That's hilarious. And the answer to the thing was, it was just in the networking, or the database. So in the logs, it said something, it couldn't reach the database, so URL or something like that. And so I went back to the RDS, which is the relational database for AWS, and I had to make it from not public to public. So it's just one configuration setting. And a lot of times that's what it is. It's like, it's just this one thing. And in programming specifically, you can take this into life. It's like solving one problem at a time, but how do you diagnose that one problem? And how I always diagnose it is how do you you look at the logs, you get a notification, whatever, but I always try to break it down to the smallest thing. Okay, and then when you don't understand the logs, I don't want to read through all these logs. That's the great part about AI now. You can take logs and it will read through thousands of lines for you in seconds and then say, oh, okay, it's this one thing. And then sometimes the AI can be wrong and you have to be like, oh, wow, I'll try something new and get new logs. And if you don't know what logs is, it's just logging the information that's happening in real time. So as you deploy something, as you build something, it's like, okay, this happened, then this happened, then this happened. It's just like a real time, someone keeping a checklist of things that actually happened. So that is my tip of the day for development. I work on development projects all day, every day. I think they're fun. And with AI today, it has extremely expedited things. But something that I've noticed is that anyone can develop now, quote unquote. However, they get stuck. They turn into bugs, and it's not so much that they can't fix it. It's that, and they say, it's all in the prompts. You have to prompting in English, but sometimes you have to understand the architecture behind things, and what is the actual architecture of your system and everything. And that's where I see engineering still doing really well today. I work on a bunch of projects with a bunch of different people, and I ask them all the time. I was like, okay, what database are you using? What kind of data? And a lot of times they can't even answer that simple question. So that's just my thing for the day. I'm driving into work. I have my own software company that I've had for 3+ years. I was an engineer for 7, and now I'm in cybersecurity. So, anyways, if you have any questions, please write to me, leave me a note, email me. Have a great day.